Welcome back, everybody. So we are Food Vlogmas Day 10. And this is a highly requested video over the last 2 months, actually. You guys have flooded my DMs, comment section to do hot chocolate bombs. Now, upon researching this, apparently there were people doing hot chocolate bombs last year, and I just missed out on that. I missed the memo on that. I'm late to the hot chocolate bomb game. So in true Angelica fashion, I'm going to do something that is closer to what I grew up with, and that would be champurrado. You definitely can use the instant hot chocolate with the mini marshmallows, which is kind of what everybody's doing. I've even seen some where it's like salted caramel. Yum. You really could get creative with these hot chocolate bombs. You can add extra flavoring to the hot chocolate. I think I have an instant pack of like mint hot chocolate, which is pretty cool. The key from what I researched to these hot chocolate bombs is tempering the chocolate. I am not good at doing that at all. So this could totally fail. Either way, I'm super excited to try this. I love champurrado. I'm gonna see if I can just mix it up. I don't know, I'm rambling. Let's get to it. Hot chocolate bombs my way. Okay, so to start, I'm going to be using 8 ounces of mini chocolate chips and a 4-ounce bar. I like this brand of chocolate. You can use what you have. So here I'm just going to chop my chocolate bar. Chopping it into smaller pieces, especially since I'm using mini chocolate chips, will evenly melt the chocolate. So here I have simmering water. I'm going to turn it lower because you want it at a gentle simmer. And now I'm going to add a bowl on top of my simmering water. You don't want the bowl to touch the water, so make sure that it's not submerged. So now I'm just going to add my chopped chocolate bar and the rest of that bag of mini chocolate chips. Now, to properly temper your chocolate, you want to do this low and slow. If I have a rapid boil and the bowl gets too hot, the chocolate can seize, it's not going to melt properly. This is why I opted to do a double boiler instead of the microwave. So I will stir it a couple of times throughout the process, and as you can see, it's starting to melt, so I'm just going to give it a mix. And then over time, eventually you'll get this silky smooth melted chocolate. So I'm going to shut off the heat and just let the bowl sit over the hot, steamy pot of water until you're ready to use it if you need time, because once you take it off the heat, it is going to cool and it'll start to harden. So here I did not have those hot chocolate bomb like molds, so I'm using these little silicone bento box cups that I have. These are actually cupcake like cups, and I oiled them, I lightly greased them, and now I'm just going to swipe it with chocolate. Now, one tip, definitely get you some molds. I just had to make do with what I had. But on some of these, I did them kind of thin, and later you'll see why I regret that. So you'll want to make sure to do a double coating, or make sure that you coat it thick enough so that it comes out of the mold easier. So I ended up doing around 8 molds, and I'm going to put them in the fridge. Now, to cover it, I'm going to just create this disc on wax paper, and I just flipped the wax paper over after I traced it, and I'm just going to add a dollop of my melted chocolate and just kind of put it in this circular disc. And I'll put these into the refrigerator, and this is what I'm going to use to put together these hot chocolate bombs. Definitely, if you can find a round mold, that works. Okay, so I put my chocolate into the refrigerator. It's been about 15 minutes, so I'm gonna let it go for like an hour. I wanna make sure that it solidifies. But now I'm going to work on what I'm going to fill these chocolate bombs with. Again, you can do the marshmallow with instant hot cocoa mix. Definitely works, that's what everybody's doing, but I'm going to try to do champurrado. I did say I wanted to do atole, but I think champurrado is just gonna work, so here we go. So here I'm going to add my Maria cookies to my food processor, and I'm going to just mix these into a fine crumb. I'm adding around 8 to 10. Now typically in champurrado, my grandmother would add instant corn flour, like the Maseca brand, but I find the cookies, which is what my tia does, will probably mix quicker into the hot milk. So now I'm going to flavor it with some ground cinnamon, ground clove, and ground allspice. You can play around with the ratios to suit your preference. I will put what I used in the description below. Now I'm adding 2 ounces of hot cocoa mix. And now just give that a mix and combine. This is ready for my chocolate molds. So here's the issue I ran into. So I'm going to start peeling the mold away from the chocolate. And you have to sort of do this quick because I noticed the longer I held it in my hand, it starts to melt and you can see the outer wall of the chocolate starts to crumble. It was too thin. It was a hot mess. But I noticed the thicker ones did a lot better. This one came out a lot easier. So when you're doing this, maybe double up on the thickness of the chocolate. So here are the discs that I made, and this is what's going to top this bomb. You guys, these are not going to look professional at all. I am an amateur at this. I'm actually surprised I was able to temper the chocolate. So I added marshmallows, mini chocolate chips, and some colorful sprinkles just to make it festive. You don't have to do that. And now I'm going to press this. This is a scone biscuit cutter, just to cut off the excess chocolate. I made it a little too big, and top it. And to get it to stick, I'm adding a little melted chocolate to the disc part of this, and I'm going to stick it right back on. And then pop it right back into the refrigerator to let it cool and set, and it's ready. So if the wonky molds weren't enough to tell you what an amateur I am at this, I decided to try to be fancy and drizzle some melted chocolate. Didn't work out so great. So then I thought, why not just add sprinkles? That'll fix all of my ghosts and mistakes of Christmas past. Okay, so now into the fridge until it sets. And now these are ready. So I'm going to take my hot chocolate bomb and place it into a large cup. By the way, look at me being fancy, imprinting the freezer and heat symbols from that silicone cup. Oh, geez. So now I'm going to pour steaming hot milk and watch the magic happen. Okay. It smells like champurrado. So excited, even with the marshmallows. Yes, yes, yes. I think I just created instant champurrado. Even if you don't do this in chocolate bombs, this is a quick way to get you a cup of champurrado. Make that mix, keep it in a container, 1 or 2 tablespoons, and some hot steamy milk. So good. I think I'm gonna make another batch. And maybe I'm gonna adjust some of the ratios. Like, I actually want a little more cinnamon and clove, but that really is up to you. Some people just don't like the assertiveness of clove, but I think it could use a little bit more. Even the allspice, so good. Okay, so that was amateur hot chocolate bombs. I definitely need more practice, but once I added a thicker layer of the chocolate, they came out of the molds so much easier. So here's a tip. 12 days of food vlogmas, day 10. 2 more food vlogs, 2 more videos for this year on this channel. So I'll see you in the next video.